Hello and welcome to the 2020 and 2022 Nerdfighteria Census Analysis. What you're looking at right now is actually the very first Nerdfighteria census. So one of the things that I like to look at is response rates. So this first one we did, 150,000 people. Second one we did went down to 130. It is just a downward arrow, by the way, just so you know. Down to 100,000, and then we got to 70,000, and then we got to 50,000, and then we got to 42,000, and then we got to 41,000. So we leveled out, and then we got to 64,000. Everybody, we're headed back up. You give people, this is the thing to remember about 2022, or the current census analysis, so this is going to cover the years of 2020 and 2021, is because I got so overwhelmed with the universe that I didn't have a census for a year. And maybe, to some extent, that is why more people responded, just because they were like, it's back. I'm so excited to do the thing. But I do sort of consider that a number that is somewhat representative of the number of active members of the community. Now, I'm not saying that this is the absolute number. I'm saying it like in proportion, maybe to some extent, that does represent something. It might also just represent that people are like, I've done censuses, thank you very much. The odds that I'm going to do one this year is going to go down. I'm still an active member of the community, and we've certainly seen a lot of active interest in the stuff that we're doing. Pizzamas is as influential as ever. The Project for Awesome is raising more money than ever. So I don't think that there's anything bad about that number going down and being half of what it was the first year, but it is something that I pay attention to and that I think is interesting. And we can also look at which Nerdfighteria census you have participated in, and we can see that last year, the first one, that was 20%. This year, first one is 38%. So that's, first of all, again, that's going to cover 2 years. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the only effect that we're seeing there. But it's a big number to me. I was surprised by that number. And that number has fluctuated significantly over the years. So it's 17%. And then this year it was 25%. That was 2017. And then the year before that, it was 30%. And the year before that, it was 40%. That was 2015 when Nerdfighteria was growing quite quickly. Despite the fact that we had less people respond to the survey. But that number is interesting to me. This is a very smooth increase in among people who have been doing the survey all the way since 2013. So, and like, I don't expect that people who did who said 2013 have done all of them, but they've been around for at least that long. How old are you is always one of my absolute favorite questions to look at. So let's try and line it up so that everything will be together and we can see an animation of the age of Nerdfighteria changing over time. And watch as Nerdfighteria gets older. And I was interested to see this year because, of course, during the period of time between these two censuses, I did a lot of stuff on TikTok. I thought maybe that there would be more young people who showed up, but nope. And that is all fine for me. What you really see is a significant increase in the over 30s. So like the 23 to 30 bar didn't go up that much, but the 31 to 40s did. Whereas the 19 to 22s, which is a very small gap, but it's always been a central group of people in Nerdfighteria, college age people, has gone down. And this makes perfect sense to me. This is exactly what I expect, and I am perfectly happy with it. And I like to see us getting older because it's happening to me. So I hope that it's also happening to you. This is also one of my most favorite parts of the census. And I think it's going to be so interesting because the world of social media changed dramatically during these 2 years. But it's also important to remember that it didn't change dramatically for a pretty long time. So we're starting in 2015. Your internet places by how much time you spend on them. YouTube is at the top. It's YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. And then we get YouTube, Face, and Tumblr is dropping down. Instagram is rising up. Facebook is dropping down now. Facebook is now plummeting. Instagram and YouTube are still fighting it out. Tumblr holding on a little bit. A surprise. I mean, look, Tumblr has done really probably. Like, people point this out all the time. This is a flawed question because you have to put things somewhere. So if you spend no time on Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitch, or TikTok, you have to rank them anyway. But look, I'm not doing science here. I'm just getting a vibe. And so TikTok last census, was last. Third. Wow. I didn't even have TikTok the year before that. Wasn't even on there. Third. And like really ready to take out Instagram. And interestingly, people have now put Facebook down in last place. Now I think that there's enjoy time spent. So that's different with that one, but and then I did include time spent because of course the things that we enjoy versus the thing that we spend time on, not always the same, especially in the world of the social internet. So YouTube, Facebook is number 2. Facebook is still number 2 by how much time you spend. Facebook is still number 2 by how much time you spend. So like this year, people were ranking Facebook as one of their least favorite social media platforms, but still spending a lot of time on it. Last year, Facebook still holding on as number 3 by time spent, with Twitter and TikTok and last. This year, I didn't do it. By how much time you spend on them. This year, Facebook dropped to 6th. I could have made a lot of money betting on the stock market based on this census analysis. I just got to say, because Facebook has this number, as reflected in the Nerdfighteria census, has also been reflected in the behavior of human beings. Facebook now just above Snapchat and Pinterest and Tumblr, and Instagram still holding on to number 2, but I don't know, man. It'll be really interesting to see how that goes in next year's census analysis, if TikTok can hold on to its trajectory. And what a place, what a world that we live inside of. And YouTube decreasing a little bit. Interestingly, this is like one of the, YouTube has a big jump between these years, which is interesting. Everything had a big jump. So this is just on a different scale for whatever reason. So you can't actually compare. You can compare these ones, absolutely, but not these ones, and I don't know why. This one, I don't know. I can't explain why. But fascinating, big changes happening in the world of social media. Boy, oh boy, did TikTok do a jumper. What would you like to see more of on Vlogbrothers? We're just going to look at the last 2 years for these. They're probably going to look pretty similar. Again, unfortunately, I can't compare these directly because they are on different scales for some reason. Are they? They look like they are. No, they aren't. What? It's just that it's what? Did I add another category in and I spread it out some? Maybe that's what I did. But it's a click whatever you feel. You can click all. I guess I added y'all choose. And maybe y'all choose. Oh, that's what it did. Y'all choose sucked away from everything else because it was like, hey, that's what happened. This is why I shouldn't change questions. What do you like most on Vlogbrothers? Discussions of big ideas, explanations of complicated issues. Those are very similar things. Silly videos. All these did well. I feel like what this says to me is videos about John and Hank's daily life has been consistently decreasing number. So this was 60% there, and now it's down to 46%. And I think that is reflective of the interests that we have displayed, and also just the way that the internet is. Who's so excited about all of this? Do you listen to podcasts? Is always interesting. I'm just saying that there are people out there. I didn't ask that question previous year, so it's 3 years in a row. Going number. Does line go up? Line go wiggly. Line go wiggly. People are listening to fewer podcasts now. That is an interesting phenomenon. Nerdfighters are listening to fewer podcasts these days. That's really interesting. Or I don't know. Some might be it's a separate group of people, or like I'd be really interested to hear if people feel like they've been listening to fewer podcasts. Do you listen to our podcasts? Delete This is the second biggest nope after SciShow Tangents. But SciShow Tangents and the Anthropocene Reviewed and Dear Hank and John all doing well. I'm happy with that. I'd be interested to see it compared to last year. So let's do that real quick. I need to get those closer together or it's hard to see. More people know about SciShow Tangents now or are watching, listening. Fewer people listening to Dear Hank and John, every episode anyway. Fewer people listening to the Anthropocene Reviewed. Fewer people listening to SciShow Tangents. Fewer people listening to Delete This. Okay. All right. We got more occasionals in some of these categories, but overall, people listening to every episode is going down. Now, you're getting older. Maybe you're a little busier. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe we're just getting a bunch of people who, new folks who don't listen to podcasts as much, but that is a very curious outcome to me. Maybe people are listening more serious podcasts that are about the business that they are a part of, or news, or maybe they're listening to, there's so many different potential explanations for this. Maybe you are also listening more audiobooks, which is certainly the case for me. YouTube Premium subscriptions among Nerdfighteria. Deeply valuable insight for the team at YouTube. If you're watching and you work at YouTube, you see how this number is changing. Are you a YouTube Premium subscriber? Going from the yes, that's gone up to 15% from back at 10%. So it's creeping up there. And you know why? It's because the ads are terrible. I don't know what that is. Is down from 5.54% to 2%. That's great. The no category is climbing, just eking down slowly. But still a lot of people, 82% versus 82%, basically. But the yes number is going up. So you got to convert those people who don't know what it is first, and also people it's not available in their country, into people where it is available and they do know what it is. And then some of these people will go into that category, and it takes time. I skipped over a question here, which was, what podcasts do you like? Sometimes I can see this as a word cloud, but sometimes not. So let's see if it works, everybody. In the meantime, I will sing to you Smash Mouth's All Star. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't are you serious? Sharpest tool in the shed. I wouldn't be waiting for this, except I'm actually very interested in what the data will be. Okay, let's keep going, and maybe it will load over time. Did I miss anything else on top of that? No. Radiolab. John. Interesting. What is John? Pod, probably Pod Save America. Science Versus, probably, and other science things. Planet Money. The Daily. People listen to The Daily. True Crime, probably. Will, not sure what that is. Hidden Brain. This American Life. Pod Save America. That must be what it is. Pod Save. Brian. I don't know who Brian is. Radiolab Thing. Thing Explainer? Thing. Is that a thing? No, that's a book. Stuff. How stuff works is what that is. This is a fun little word game I've created for myself. 99% visible. No. What is no? If I click on these things, does it tell me anything? You Must Know Everything is also a podcast, but it's not a popular podcast, but you should listen to it because it's great. No. Stuff you should know. It's definitely stuff you should know. That's what it is. That's what it is. Science, sort of. I know, Dino. Stuff you should know. Stuff you should know. Slow burn. Reply all. It's a good podcasts. I'm in. Many of these things are podcasts I like. Okay, let's move on. That deserves a deeper dive. Maybe I will do it at some point. Click on any you have attended. VidCon Oh, that wasn't even this year's pot. That wasn't even this year's, was it? Was it? No, it was. This just opened up. Okay, everything's fine. Click on any you have attended. You've got. So let's see if we can compare this to other years. I did pare this down substantially, so it will not give us a good comparison. But VidCon was 3%. Now it's down to 2.8%. PodCon. Love all of you for coming to the thing. Some other Hank and John event, which would be all of these added together. So still 85%. I want to increase that number if we can. It's difficult to do because we are very busy and it's hard. It's tour is extremely time consuming, but some of my favorite time to get consumed. How do you get your Nerd Fighter news? How do you know what's going on in the world? Let's run this by sort descending and see if we can find out any data here. Vlogbrothers videos have decreased dramatically. Wow, this is interesting. Dear Hank and John is 29%. It was 30%. The newsletter is now no, that's what changed. Oh man. So like I'm prepared for TikTok to be a significant part of how I spend my day being a total goofball. I'm not prepared for TikTok to be an important pillar of Nerdfighteria, but here it is. It's just as big as Twitter. I thought that this said Dear Hank and John. It doesn't. It says Twitter. I didn't put Dear Hank and John in here, but I probably should have. So making a note about that in my little document of my little book for things I should do differently next year. I mean, one thing that I should ask, another thing I should ask is like, what's your, because it used to be that this was implied. The primary touch point for Hank and John content is going to be Vlogbrothers. But now, maybe your primary touch point for Hank and John content isn't going to be Vlogbrothers. Maybe it's going to be Dear Hank and John. Maybe it's going to be TikTok. That's an overwhelming thought that I don't want to like lean into that. That's not what I want, but it is the thing that I feel like I should know. That is an intense result that I did not expect. All right. I got to work through that. Please ruthlessly rank our projects from your, I guess this is kind of that question. Vlogbrothers has gone from a 12 to a 12, but we got 11.75 went from a 12.05. Dear Hank and John went from 9.2 to 9.28 from 9.45. Crash Course Sideshow took over from John's books. Hank's TikTok appeared a wild Hank's TikTok appeared in the middle of the pack. The Amp with the Pristine Reviewed, Hank's books, the Awesome Socks Club is a new one. Hank's channel, Delete This, Hank Games, Journey to the Microcosmos. Hank's book, I was just one book then. Now it's Hank's books. And okay. All right. Well, I guess that does make some sense. It's certainly what I get recognized for at the coffee shop. Which of these things do you own? Is butt legs. Any Hank Green books for the Anthropocene Reviewed in particular? Wow, 54% of people bought that book. That's a new book, you guys. Some Kind of Pizza John. Nice. 27% market penetration of Pizza John. Some other awesome socks. 18%. That's nuts. That is a nutso number. Bizarre Beast pins, 3.7. A Crash Course coin, 3.27. Thank you so much to all the owners of the Crash Course coin. Those 1,000 people, you would not believe. So like that's 1,700 times 100. That's a really big deal. Those $17,000 for Crash Course, but also all the other people. This is certainly not the only ones we sold, but like wow. So thank you to all of you who have signed up for Bizarre Beasts and Awesome Socks Club, Crash Course Coin. Those things really support our work and also the work of Partners in Health. Is sneezing normal? No, never. Of course not. Okay, great. No did worst, and of course not did best. I did not even give people an opportunity to give me an other so that they could be confused publicly. They just have to live with their confusion. What Crash Course would you be most excited to see in the future? This is great. I'm really interested that philosophy is third on this list, and the history is second. But climate and environment being number one is very exciting because we do very much want to do that. We are working on getting funding for it right now. So that's dope. That's great. Personal finance would also be great. Music, history, art history, poetry. Interesting. Religion, botany, theater, Spanish, more biology, math. Interesting that math is so low. We've always wanted to do a crash course math, but... my favorite thing about this is that this, of course, looks like the vast majority of people live in America. You know how many it is? It's 63%. It's just that all the other ones are quite small. These add up to be almost 40% of our audience. So we're all over, and it's just that it's a long list of places to be. And we've got people... there's a bunch of countries here where there's nobody, but there's a bunch of companies here where there's 2 people. So everybody in Mongolia and Moldova and Rwanda and St. Kitts and Nevis and Syria, thank you for being a part of this community. That's very, very, very cool. And all those other places. This is just, again, largely a list of states by population. Now, not exactly. And I'd be interested to see how it lines up. Like, for example, Florida, if it was by population, would be much higher. And I don't know why we're not a big deal in Florida, even though we're from Florida, but we're just not. Floridians, on average, are less likely to be into our content. But I'd be interested to see this compared to a list of states by population, but I guess I could just do that. States by population. That's information that's not difficult to come by. So California, Texas, Florida. See, again, I did get it right that Florida has a lot of people. So Florida is just way down that list when it shouldn't be, because California, Texas, New York makes a lot of sense. Washington is higher than it should be. So that's interesting. And I'm just going to do the top 10, I guess. And then Pennsylvania and Illinois makes sense because they're up there. And then you got Georgia, North Carolina. Georgia is the 8th most populated, and North Carolina, I would not have told you that. Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan would be the next ones. And Georgia is way down here. I haven't even seen North Carolina, have I? Yeah, there it is. And Michigan up here below Florida. So we're a bigger deal in Massachusetts and Ohio than we should be. Also in Colorado. This is all in Oregon. That all makes sense to me. It all makes a kind of intuitive sense. Gender check, all that applied. Pretty sure I asked this question last year. Fewer women, but also fewer men, as Nerdfighteria explores the space between, which is lovely. Nerdfighteria is like, I'm not so sure about any of this business. Obviously, like, it still remains vast majority are binary, male or female, but lots more people. I mean, literal doubling in the last year of non-binary people in Nerdfighteria, almost. That's wild. And a large portion of like just exploring unsure, and also agender and gender fluid is increasing, which is wild. I've also got a lot of others here. Genderqueerish, trans man, yeah, you're a man. Race or ethnicity, check all that apply. And then we find out that we are still a very white community, which is not... I added It's Complicated to the list because I got a request to add It's Complicated because, of course, it's race. It is. But yeah, we extraordinarily static on this. Maybe this looks like it all stayed very, very exactly the same. Do you think you are an extrovert, introvert, different on different days, somewhere in between? Oh, did I just take out sexual orientation this year? No, I did not. I just moved it around for some reason. So first, sexual orientation. The rise of the bis, everybody. Get ready. It's coming. Wow. That is... wow. All right. It's happening, everybody. We all knew it would eventually. Race or... I did that one already. What did I miss? I skipped over, do you think you are an extrovert? Introvert. So a full half of us are introverts, and then we got the bigger hunk is in the category. Heading on down to how did you first hear about Vlogbrothers? Always interesting. Just came across it on YouTube. friend, Mental Floss SciShow. We got TikTok is now 5%. I imagine that one wasn't on there. Charlie McDonald also 5% last year. So Charlie and TikTok of equal importance to Nerdfighteria ultimately. Crash Course, John's books, a friend, don't remember somewhere else. John's book, Crash Course, Charlie. Yeah, it's about the same. That's not a big difference. Are you aware of these things? Did I ask that? Looks like no. All right, we're probably gonna be stuck over here in the in this main area for a while now. Are you aware of these things? An absolutely remarkable thing. We can look at this, probably easier to look at this by number, honestly. No, I guess it's not. The things that are most aware. Awesome Socks Club. Wow. That's really interesting. The Awesome Socks Club is like VidCon people are very aware of. Patreon people are very aware of. Absolutely remarkable thing. Less, biggest, Journey to the Microcosmos, big, not aware, Complexly, which is our company. But like, we don't... I get that. You know that the products exist, but not the name of the company. Awesome Socks Club is very aware. I put it on twice, so maybe that made people more aware of it. Let's put that on my list of things to fix for next year. What's next? Have you ever bought stuff from DFTBA? Check all that apply. This was a difficult year for DFTBA, so I will not be surprised if the number of people who had a not perfect experience went up, but who knows? Let's find out. Our customer support team is amazing, so let's see. I'll check all that apply. It was a good experience. Yes, it was a good experience. I've never bought stuff 50. I've never bought stuff 55. It was a good experience. Bad experience is 0.53 at 330, 322. 0.56. All right, so it went down, even though it's been a mess of a year. That's great. I'm glad of that. And I appreciate everybody who visits their friendly neighborhood internet retailer. This is the neighborhood. What do you think Wario and Waluigi should be named? Wario and Luigi is number one, coming in at 31%. Wario and Waluigi. This is the wrong answer. Despite the fact that I told you it was the wrong answer, you did choose it, 18% of you. Mario and Waluigi. Everybody likes Luigi, a lot better than that. Wario and 7Luigi. Other, please specify. Gotta click on that. Wario and Iguil. Great, love that. Sir Coniferous, Duke and of our great and prosperous kingdom of Anglemortand and Kyle. Walter. He found his name. This is a Tumblr reference. No opinion. I have no opinion. Do not make me click on one of these things. Why do they exist is a better question. I don't know. You gotta have somebody to be fighting against. Wario and Waigi. All right. Art is a lie is a great response to what should Waluigi's name be. What is your first language? English. Other is the biggest one. The biggest one is other, aside from English. Because, of course, it's a long list of languages. And also, oftentimes these responses are, what exactly is first? But no, look at this. Estonian, Greek, Finnish, Filipino. We have a lot of Nerdfighters in the Philippines, by the way, which is awesome. How? I don't know how. It is just the case. Wow, there are so many languages in the world and in our community. Who is your absolute favorite internet creator who isn't us? Let's open this word cloud and come back to it. Who is your absolute favorite podcast that isn't ours? Let's open it up and come back. And finally, your favorite book that isn't. Let's open that word cloud and come back. Have you gotten vaccinated yet? Yes. No. Not, and I'm not currently. So we've got 97% Nerdfighteria, the most vaccinated community on planet Earth. Thank you very much. This is wonderful. Who'd you get the stick by? Pfizer's a winner. Pfizer's the number one, and then followed by Moderna. Wow, I'm Moderna personally. I did not realize I was so outnumbered in this community. I also at this point have the variety pack because I did get my Pfizer as my booster because they were like, "Which one do you want?" And I was like, "Well, I heard," and they were like, "Shut up, just tell me which one do you want. I don't have time for you to talk." And I was like, "Give me the Pfizer, boy. I want to mix and match. That's cool. We got J&J is pretty low. AstraZeneca would be people in the UK mostly, and then there's also some other ones elsewhere in the world. What best describes the day you're having right now? Bones or no bones? Oh, we got it pretty equal between Bones Day and No Bones Day. This is a TikTok reference that is now, because of like everything on TikTok, almost cringy in the fact that I am even talking about it, because that's over. That's ended. It's done. Do you drink coffee? Yes, lots. And yes, a normal amount. Most people drink coffee, but 36% of people do not. And I'm not one of them. I love coffee. These are questions that we were asking regarding the pricing of a potential coffee club for charity. And I appreciate everybody for just helping us do really fantastic market research here as we try to figure out the best kinds of coffee to use, because of course there are lots of different costs involved, for everything from the beans themselves to the roasting to the packaging, etc. Pre-ground, most people want pre-ground, whereas some people want whole bean. While this is the case, we might end up doing whole bean, even though 58% of people want pre-ground, because it's just better for the freshness. Now, I know you might not have a coffee grinder, but maybe we can fix that for you as well. Caffeine preference. Everybody wants full caffeine. It's me down here in the 2.21%. I did not realize how overwhelmed I was by the world. 7 to 14, more than 14. That's a lot of people, more than 14 crew. How do you drink your coffee? And we got my main thing here is that I'm thinking a lot of times. So we talked to a lot of people about coffee, and like almost all coffee taste tests are done black. Of course they are, because you want to be able to taste most of the flavors. But that means that you're like testing for the taste of a coffee in a way that most people don't drink it. And so we have tried to, yes, taste test black, but also taste test with milk and sugar, just milk and just sugar, or just sweetener or cream or whatever. We were using oat milk. And I think that just it changes the what is the number one coffee significantly when you include like the way people drink coffee. So I was interested to hear that because not only do I drink decaf, so 2%, I also drink it with just sugar, another 2%. So I am the weirdest coffee drinker. I did not realize I was such a weird coffee drinker. How do you make coffee at home? Coffee machine, espresso machine, AeroPress or French press, a Keurig or similar, pour over. Look at all these pour over people. Fancy pantsy. I mostly get my coffee shops. Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Awesome Socks Club? A full 17% of you said yes. That's great. We got current members are 13%, former members, because you were like, that's probably enough socks. 3.3%. Potential future member, 53%. Unlikely to be swayed. Well, that's a lot of people that we could get. That's a lot of people that's all right. All 31,000 of you, if you're watching this, there will be another window during which you can sign up. Probably in May. I'm not sure yet. We're still working it out. I'm excited to know. And then there will, of course, be another one at the end of the year. What would you like to see for our next subscription window? Time-bound subscriptions, 29%. Larger sizes, smaller sizes. Interesting that larger sizes is such a bigger deal. I know that this is not that interesting to most people. I'm sorry. Kid socks is more than smaller sizes. I got to be honest with you. Kid socks are smaller. Slightly less awesome socks is also a big winner. So that would be more sort of like stripe patterns rather than like cute frogs, maybe, or lightning bolts or whatever. Am I wearing? I am. Well, I'm wearing like old awesome socks. Like back before we launched the club, we had a thing that we did. These ones have anglerfish on them. Quarterly instead of monthly subscriptions or shipments. That is great that's a big number because, for example, if we did it, we could do it two ways. If you are going to get 12 socks in a year, you could get them quarterly and get 3 at a time. And that would save a lot on shipping. Like it would just be spending less money on the shipping of the socks, which would be great. And then you also would have the circumstance where you only get 4 in a year because maybe you don't want to get that many socks, or you can sort of switch to a quarterly thing. But adding complexity is always something that I am loath to do. So even though a lot of people are interested in that, and it is a lot of people, it might not be something that we do soon. What's your favorite? This is the hardest thing about doing socks. What's your favorite sock length? Everybody's different. Everybody's like, there isn't a preference. It isn't like there is even like a thing that is like crew is what we use. But like, it's barely winning out over the rest of these. An extra low cut. Who are you? We are likely to increase the cost to $13 or $14 sometime this year. Just so you know what, prices of things are going up, and this was great to see. So it's of course absolutely understandable and no problem at all if you cancel. But this is very useful and helpful information. So thank you. Have you ever been to a country? No. 16% have responses, and we're gonna go to a word cloud, and then we're gonna scroll up and look at our other word clouds that we scrolled past earlier. We've got who's your absolute favorite internet creator? We've got Lindsay Ellis. I'm so sorry. That's terrible news for you. But we all support Lindsay in making the decisions that are best for her. ContraPoints, Philip DeFranco, I assume. Kurzgesagt, Markiplier. I don't know anyone named Lena. That is wild to me. That this is not immediately clear to me who that person is. I am so old, and it is hard to keep track. Rhett and Link, Jenna Marbles, TikTok. Why is the word TikTok in here? Just say the person's name. Tom Scott, CGP Grey, Tom Scott, Jenna Marbles, Rhett and Link, Try Guys, Critical Role, Rachel Ballinger, maybe, probably. Bernadette Banner, Nerdfighteria has always had a big Bernadette Banner streak, which I think is really cool and actually says something about this community. I haven't figured out exactly what it is, but it's something. Overly, I don't know what that is. Hannah Witten. I'll have to click on some of these things afterward. To Smarter Every Day, Simone Gertz, or Yetch. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I know I do it wrong. Safia Nygaard, Colleen Ballinger, Jacksepticeye, Drew Gooden. Love Drew Gooden. He keeps making bangers, absolute bangers. This is super cool to see. This makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm also super curious about who Maxie is and who Lena is. YouTube Maxie. I do not. Rachel Maxie. Look at us. Look at us liking things that I've never seen this creator before. I'm going to leave that tab open for later, and then let's try YouTube Lena. Lena Norms? Probably. That looks like somebody y'all would be into. All right. I'm going to leave that one open too. Thank you for exposing me to new creators. Always learning, everybody. Always learning. And if we're going to do a Nerdfighteria specific event, maybe we'll just pull some people out of here. I like that Hannah is big, but Witten and Hart are small. Also, good old McElroys. Not surprised to see them in here. What's your favorite podcast? We've got Mabim Bam. We've got my brother and me. It's a lot of Mabim Bam. We got Night Vale. We got Adventure Zone. So a lot of those boys. Radiolab, Dungeons and Daddies, This American Life, Critical Role, Ologies, Ear Biscuits. Cool. And then finally, favorite book: Percy Jackson, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Good Omens, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Name of the Wind, as my guess for what this is. Thief. The Book Thief? It's a good word. Pride and Prejudice. Little Women is going to be my guess for Little. The Martian is good. Terry Pratchett, just name an author. Percy Jackson, Neil Gaiman. Dune, To Kill a Mockingbird. Look at you guys with like serious tastes. But also Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Nice. Well, I can't say I disagree with any of you on any of that. All right, let's scroll on down and see if we got our word cloud yet. We did. You've been to Wales. You've been to the the European Union. You've been to Singapore and Hungary and Norway and Denmark and Australia. And I gotta say, this is a high percentage of people who have been to other countries. 40% of people in the U.S. have never been to another country. So this is certainly higher than the average for the U.S., though it's not particularly surprising given the demographics of Nerdfighteria. Portugal, they're all over the place. The Czech Republic is surprisingly big on this list. Switzerland, Germany, England, a lot of Mexico and Canada, of course, but a lot of Europe, which all makes sense. Bahamas, look at you. Dominican Republic is a surprise on this list to me. We got a fair amount of some Asia in here, a fair amount of Central and South America. Do you hang out in any Nerdfighter internet spaces? Not really, 69%. We got Discords, YouTube comments, of course, Reddit, Facebook groups, other DMs and chats, and other please specify. Would be interested to see this other please specify. Maybe we can add some more to it. So let's load that word cloud while we move on. It's been 49 minutes, but that's all. Overall, how much trust do you have in the news media? Let's see. I'm very curious over the last 2 years how this has changed. Not much. Really not much at all. Like not an amount that I would be comfortable saying means anything. How much money do you make? How much money do you make? Nerdfighteria. Whoa, 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 whoa. That, however, is a significant, I mean, we're older, so like we saw this in age, but the group of people who are earning no income has gone down substantially. I think that is in large part probably because people are less likely to be in school. Same with this $1,000 to $10,000 number. And then, it's interesting. The $20,000 to $30,000 number remained very steady, whereas the 30 to 150 is where the real growth was. And I mean, in terms of percentage, the 150 plus group is a giant jump. Probably the biggest jump in terms of percentage of all of these things, maybe equal to the rest of those. But yeah, that's a substantial change, especially considering that there are a lot of new people. And like my head was saying, a lot of these new people who didn't fill out the survey last year, because it's 20,000, 30,000 more than filled out last year, are going to be from TikTok, which are probably going to be more likely to be students. But that seems to not be the case. This is interesting. Well, congratulations to those people whose incomes have been going up. That's great. That's great news. Certainly not going to be the case for everybody, but overall, that's good news for those people and also the community as we continue to do cool stuff. Project for Awesome will be happening very soon. If you have extra income, that's just I have a digital download bundle for you. Click on things you have. Click on things you have. Let's see this. This is going to be probably about the same. More people have a mortgage. Congratulations to the new homeowners in town. More people have a car loan. Same number of people have credit card debt. More people have medical debt, but not substantially more, but like any growth there is not great. And student loans are remaining roughly steady. What is the highest degree you have? This will be interesting to see as well. How are we doing? How are we shifting? More people got that college degree. More people got that graduate degree. And the number of people still in school is going down. All of this is tracking with what feels like the general vibe. If you're still in school, what kind of school are you in? Less likely to be in all kinds of school, except master's. Master's program and PhD program is equal because that is where people are headed after they get through the school, and some of them are coming out and some of them are coming in. Your current employment situation. I think I changed this question a little bit. In school, no job. It's gone down. I have a job. I like it. Has gone up. This is also good news for those people. I'm glad for you. I have a job. I don't like it. Has also gone up. And I have a job, and I don't have a job and I need one, has gone down. So, I mean, I guess that tracks with sort of the state of the economy. Wait, no, I don't have a job and I like it. Okay, that's what's gone up. and I don't have a job and I have a job and I don't like it, has also gone up. All of the jobs have gone up. It'd be interesting to see the actual percentage increase, but I can't see that. Your employment situation part 2. I see. I added another question. All of my income comes from one regular job. That's 68%. I work several jobs at different places. 9%. I have a job. I also make money doing my own things. That's 10%. That's a lot. That's so interesting. I do my own things to make money and am self-employed. 20% of Nerdfighteria gets at least some of their income from doing their own thing, whatever that is. Neat. Have you ever made money making or selling stuff on the internet? Yes. 20%. Oh my God. I guess that's basically what I just asked. Kind of. Like, doing your own thing doesn't have to be making stuff on the internet, but wow. Oh, goodness. How freaked out are you about the James Webb Space Telescope launch? Hey, everybody. Let's calm down. I get to calm down. This is great news. What a wonderful reminder of how freaked out I was and how well it's gone. Have you ever seen Crash Course or SciShow in school? Yes. No. I'm not sure. Cool. Gonna click on that word cloud. See what that brings us. Do you consider yourself wealthy over the years? Interesting. So this year went from no being a little more maybes and a little more maybes. This year, no's went higher. I am fascinated by that. That is not what I was expecting to see have happen. Now, of course, this is a subjective thing. I didn't ask how much money you have in the bank. But I think that this is probably not it's always dangerous to get a piece of information that you weren't expecting and then immediately assign a cause to that. But if I had to assign a cause to it, I'd probably say it's an uncertain time. And it's harder and wealthy is really sort of a measure of the feeling of comfort and stability that the amount of money that you have brings you. And so maybe I should not be counting on people to be more likely to buy themselves that digital download bundle, because even if you have more money, maybe you're not feeling like, so maybe went down from 33% to 31%. And no went up to 56% from 54%. And yes stayed exactly the same. Interesting. I'm making guesses, but interestingly. This is another thing that could affect it. That's good. Well, see, never think that you know the actual answer. Is it economic anxiety, or is it the fact that Nerdfighteria went from 8% with kids to 11% and 11.5% with kids? Congratulations on all your babies, y'all. This is very exciting. I'm so happy about your babies. So yeah, you feel a lot less wealthy when you have a big expensive thing that lives in your house and cries a lot. And there's always like, don't forget, I need a college education at some point or something like it. And I will not, that is a huge jump in 2 years. But I guess it makes sense. People are getting older. We got a total of 6,000 parents here, whereas it was 3,000. And this is numbers that I assume will continue to change as time goes on. We've also got, I'm currently, a total of 600 people who are currently, when they filled the survey out, with child. So that's a bunch that we'll be adding to that list. 10% increase just by waiting 9 months. So amazing. Do you know about a project to help build a maternal health center in Sierra Leone? Wow. Okay. That's a bigger number than I expected. 21% of people don't know about this. And it's going up. My goodness. Now, the absolute number is probably stayed about the same, but still, the absolute number who know about it is probably higher. Much. So, but wild. Which best describes you? I watch every new video. Is going down. Probably see it eventually is going up. Watch most new Vlogbrothers videos going up. So this is 26%, and this is 28%. So that did go down, but the people who will likely watch, I'm not that worried about this. This does not concern me that much. Yeah, this does not concern me that much. In 3 words or less, what are you most worried about? Let's run that word cloud. And let's scroll up and see what we got out of the other word cloud that I just ran. Where do you hang out? TikTok comments, Minecraft server, Nerdfighteria. Got to put that on the list. Twitter replies, of course. Lurk, TikTok. I don't know what all these Nerdfighter and Nerdfighteria places are. Instagram, YouTube comments, Lurker. Okay, we got to add some of those places to next year for sure. Life's Library, comments section. Cool. Comments are always a lovely place for community. Now let's see if we got this word cloud done. In 3 words or less, what are you most worried about? You got children, student, financial collapse, fascism. That's probably been on the rise, that particular concern. Capitalism, global warming, climate change, COVID, everything. Mental health, probably. Pandemic, job, dying. Yes. What a world, what a cloud of words that is. Don't look at it too long. It will raise your blood pressure. It did for me. Maybe I'll go through and look at that in a little more detail. That's useful. Climate change, number 1. I didn't know I could do that. The future, health, COVID, money, everything, life, mental, democracy, family. Yeah, those are all concerning things, I gotta say. So I'm on the same page. When did you start watching Vlogbrothers videos regularly? This is, of course, going to be stretched out over time, but interestingly, in 2019 was at this census, was the least likely year to have joined, aside from 2007. Whereas now, 2020 actually did creep up a little bit. As a time when people joined, though I think that the survey was sent out in 2019, so that might also be a fact that you don't catch all of 2019. And then we've got I've never really been. So this is interesting. I've never really been a regular Vlogbrothers viewer, which, oh my God, was 3% last year and was 14% this year. That's all TikTok people. That's 100% TikTok people. Like if I wanted to just isolate the part of the respondents to this survey who are people who came from TikTok, I could pick out just that group and look at a totally different survey that was just TikTok people. How much time? I also did that, so I used a special link so I could do that in a different way. But how much time do you spend on the internet per day? Is this creeping up? My guess is it will be, but it's self-reported, so we don't know for sure. Let's see though. What do we got? It's 2 to 4 hours is increasing. 6 hours is increasing a lot. More than 8 hours is increasing a lot. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. Wow. Wow. Okay, so more than 8 hours went from 12% to 17% in 2 years. And 6 to 8 hours went from 14% to 18% in 2 years. It is a pandemic, so what else is there to do? But still, interesting. How many books do you read per year? About the same. Not, a little bit of a shift, but nothing to write home about. Which of these books have you read? Fault in Our Stars has decreased. All of these things appear to have decreased some in their little market share of our world. Beautifully Foolish Endeavor and Will Grayson and Let It Snow, bringing up the rear here. Absolutely remarkable thing. Has now triumphed over An Abundance of Catherines. Take that. But guys, pick up the sequel. It ends. The story ends. You didn't get the whole story, y'all. What are you reading right now? Set that word cloud. Oh, how are you reading it? Physical book, e-reader, smartphone, audible.com, other audiobook system. That would be interesting to see how that's changing, because I bet it is. Other audiobook system is growing. Audible's growing a little bit. Physical book is dropping substantially, now down to 66% from 71. I would be interested to see how that goes over 3 years, and I can do that. Look at this. I've got this over 3 years. So physical book went from 77 down to 66 over these 3 years. And what can you see changing? You can see everything else going up, basically. Everything else going up. E-reader has increased, but the thing that has increased more, wow, a lot of people on a smartphone has increased a lot. And then Audible and other audiobook system has gone up a lot too. Did you support our projects on Patreon or purchase a Crash Course coin this year? Awesome. Thank you. Do you have any critiques for us? Let's do a word cloud. That's not going to be that helpful, but maybe it'll get us something. Is there anything else you'd like to say to us? Say it now. These are a delight to read through, but I will not read through them right now online with you because it's been, since I started recording, though I have taken a couple of breaks, over 70 minutes. What do you support on Patreon? Dear Hank and John, SciShow Crash Course, other. I gotta set that word cloud up. And then people who didn't hear about the Crash Course coin was 10%, so we did a pretty good job of that. That's great. And then there were 153 people who got the $500 coin. Thank you so much. And then majority of people didn't get one. Do you plan on keeping up your patronage next year? Probably, definitely. That's about equal to what we've seen. This is a specific part of the survey you don't get unless you're a patron. What other things do you support on Patreon? That would be cool to see. And this is just useful for us to see so that people can know. I can actually also take this out and send it to people at Complexly so that they know how important their work is. So I appreciate y'all for looking through that and answering those questions, because it can really brighten some people's day for all the hard work that they do. Oh, something went wrong and I didn't get my word cloud. Critiques. Socks. There's a critique about socks. Nope. Is the big, let's do a list view. Nope. I don't. Hank, take, love, keep, good, make, great. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you said, but all those words make me feel quite nice. So thank you for them. But I have whenever I want to. We got other things that you support on Patreon. Lindsay Ellis, SciShow, Sexplanations, Healthcare Triage, Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, CGP Grey, Kurtz Gazat, ContraPoints, etc. Nice. Well, it's been a bit of a census analysis. This is how they go. It's not like they ever come in and they're 20 minutes long or anything. So you expected it, and this is what it was. Thank you all for all of your lovely thoughts and comments. SciShow is my favorite thing on YouTube. Everything you make is amazing. It makes the world better. Well, we try. I want to be part of education, make it more accessible to everyone. Crash Course coin just spoke to me to support a good thing that supports a lot of people. Thank you for the video. There's a video for people who support on Patreon. I continue to believe in the work and endeavors that the Green Brothers put out. Well, thank you. We try hard to be worthy of this level of interest and support of all the people who took the time to fill out the survey. And what I will say finally, like, there are always going to be, and I build this into my head no matter what, like the reality that we can look at them and be like, okay, like 90% of our people are in English speaking places, but like some of the people are in Syria. Some of the people are in Moldova, and like that matters, and they are part of our community. And so like if you ever feel like you don't see yourself represented in the survey, like that's part of what the survey tells us, is that like there isn't one way to be a nerd fighter. There isn't one kind of nerd fighter. There are definitely like shared values, shared worldviews, but we see that there are like regardless, there are always exceptions, and like we want the community to be open to all people who want to be a part of it, and who as long as it's not about being mean or exclusionary, that is what we like. This is a place for. So I love the main thing that this teaches me, though, it is really good to see all like little trends, like more babies getting born, or more people having jobs, less people being in school. Like the thing that it really teaches me is that there is no one thing, and that anytime we try to imagine this community as having a certain kind of person that is emblematic of it, that is just incorrect. Like there is always going to be a big spread of kinds of people. So if you like felt at any point when watching this that like you didn't, seem like a person who is a nerd fighter, that is the opposite of reality, because in reality, it's any old kind of person who can enjoy being a part of all the weird, fun things that we do. And I appreciate everybody who is a part of those things. Even if you just watched this video, even if you just watch videos sometimes, even if you didn't fill the survey out, I really appreciate it, and I cannot wait to continue making good stuff with all of you good people. Have a great afternoon or evening or morning or night.